Okay, Wednesday, lab 11. Normally we don't record stuff on Wednesdays, but I think this is worth noting. So I made some changes to my gradient. This is 1.2. You all can like kind of see like how some of the things I did. First of all, I shortened X to X data, Y to Y data, just for clarity's sake, less stuff to read. Okay, here's the main thing I did. So you remember like you may remember from Monday's lab where we had this business with like y n plus 1 minus I or something like that in n. The reason why that is, why that was the case is, let me draw it out. Give me 5 seconds to set up my drawing pad. It has to do with the different directions in which you create graphs and which you create matrices. So if you imagine a graph, and let me draw it out. Imagine a graph, and it'll look something like, annotate, like so. Here's the X, and here's the Y. That's kind of like this Y data over here, and then that X data over here. It goes like this. Your Y data is going to, X and Y data is going to be plotted like from the bottom left. Like here's like your like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to start here and it's going to go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how plots work. Matrices are ordered a little bit differently. You'll have a matrix and then like starts from the top left to the bottom right. So the indices go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. X direction is the same, but this one is reversed. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this flip left right, that's how you read that. Left, right, flip. What that does is it'll turn this Y from like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and vice versa. That's going to make sure that these arrows kind of it makes sure that they're oriented in the same direction. That's the idea. And then if we just going briefly through this, you'll see this like j plus 1, j minus 1, and then the y stays the same. This is because we're kind of taking partials. It's like the central difference method between like the j plus 1 point and the j minus 1 point. So here's like the x, here's the y. Yeah, I'm going to cover part of this up, but so you'll have j minus 1, j plus 1, and here's going to be I. Here's your y, here's your x. So we have like 3 points that we're looking at. We want the partial derivative at this point. Want partial. Get rid of some of this stuff for clarity. Now, to get the partial, we're just going to take kind of the average of like this point and this point. So that's where this j plus 1 and j minus 1 come from. Dot, 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 dot. It's like the 2-dimensional analog of what we did in 1.1. That's all that is. And then we do a similar thing in the other direction with y, just with points up here and points down here. You get the idea. And down here, this is, I believe I mistakenly wrote like I like had these indices flipped. So if you see this, just flip them. So that way you'll get the correct size. Okay, before moving on, I'm gonna see some questions in the chat. Let's see. Oh, never mind. All right, any questions so far? I'll clear this in 3, 2, 1. I feel like it's a lot nicer this way for readability purposes. Do you think so, Jose?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot more clean.
Because the old solution was right, cleaner. But it was not necessarily nice.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, and I believe I tested this one. It works. Yeah, I did. So trinomial, not this one. I want to go to Simpson integral. Okay, this is a change that someone pointed out in one of my other labs. The solution I gave on Monday had this being current polynomials instead of current polynomials n comma colon. Well, what this basically means is like current polynomials. You may not remember lab 10 because it was 1,000 years ago, but this is basically like an n plus 1 by n matrix. It's remember the Mylagrange, we had like all these annoying bases polynomials, like basis, and then like this, here's the actual polynomial that we want. Actual poly. So we only want to extract this last row, and that's what we're doing here. Last row and all the elements in that row. That's all that means. Other than that, I believe that's all she wrote. All right. So that's all I had regarding that. Okay, anyone questions so far before I stop the recording? Okay, we'll stop the recording.